Hello you, welcome to Geekism and welcome to the first look of new cities here on the channel. Currently in alpha, this is a, pretty much honest to goodness straight up city builder. Just a bit old school, does what it says on the tin. It's made by a developer team called Lone Pine. Thank you very much for them for sending me a copy of the key. And we're just going to take a first look at this one. Some interesting ideas here. Regarding sort of flow through and how the cities are put together and stuff, and there's some really interesting ideas, so we're going to give it a little look, see how we get on. We just start off with a very open map. We're on a bit of an island. Oh no, we have got some stuff here, so it does look isometric. It isn't. You can actually come round, which is quite cool, but yeah, so it's not quite isometric. It is fully 3D rendered space, but look at this, right? You think this is a small map, big map. Zoom in, and each of these little dots is a tree, and this is kind of the space we're going to be building with. So just goes to show you what they expect your cities to be like, or maybe we're going to be joining up multiple cities. Perhaps it might be a little bit more like that. But yeah, to start off with, my goodness, we're going to come over here to a relatively open block, and you can see that the game has grid system. There's not curved roads. You can do angular roads, you can do angles, but for the most part, you are looking at a grid system here. We're going to start off with some basic roads. So we'll do a road here. I'm saying this like I know what I'm talking about. I very briefly played this a little, mostly just to check that the video is recorded, because sometimes I've got about 3 different ways of recording footage on this computer, and certain games prefer certain things. But you see here, look, the roads are trying to sort of find their way through. I am literally just starting with a basic grid, and then we can zone here. Residential. So zoning is attached to roads, as you can see, so we can do rows of roads here. Mostly these grids, this game sort of suggests these dots, and those are going to be your residential grids, at least to start with. Like I say, we can move into some more interesting designs later on, but I think for now we're going to start off like that. I'm going to clean these up just in case. There we go. Can't get rid of that one bit. There we go. Get rid of you as well. And then we've got our first few houses popping up. Now, at the minute, we can't actually see anything about these houses. For some reason, the sort of query tool here is gated by the little tutorial that the game has. So we can later on see who's in here, who's living here, and what they're up to. You don't actually see people, but you do see cars driving around when they can. So we've got houses, we've got roads, we've got cities. There we go. So now it's telling us that we want some farms. Farms take up a big space in this game. Okay, so we are going to be requiring a lot of them. So I'm going to come down here like this, and the game suggests that now for farming you use this larger grid. Okay, now again, we're gonna keep it pretty conformist to start off with, but later on we are gonna be able to do other options. But for now, we'll probably come down here, and like I say, we are using a big space to deal with here. There we go. Okay, that should be okay. And then we're gonna come in here to farming, and we'll say all of this, and you'll see them pop up as we need them. There we go. And they'll allocate themselves space as they require. There we go. So all of this space here can be farming. And there you go. You'll start seeing the larger farms. There's some field farms, and then some more like industrial farms. I guess that one would be something like sheep or something, maybe like an industrial sheep farm. I don't know. They've got them over there. And the other thing as well is they come and go like that. There we go. That one's gone. A bigger one's coming there. But you can see here that it's saying help wanted, and that's telling us that we don't have enough residential demands to cover the farming demand. I think it might just be that actually that's a bit far out. People might not be willing to travel that far just yet. So maybe what we'll do is fill them up and go for a little bit more residential this way, so as that we can have some residents just a little bit closer to thing. You'll see there that there is a dip there. There is terrain. I don't know whether or not we can do anything about that terrain just yet, but for now we can't. Tell you what, let's leave that open there just because we can. It might give us some options for parks and similar things later on, but for now we'll fill all this in. Just clicking and dragging to do that. So yeah, small team of developers, I think, working on this one. Like I say, they've got some interesting ideas regarding sort of finances and things like that a little bit further on in the late game. But to start off with, you're pretty much building a battery here. You're building a city, a grid-based city builder to get up established, and it unlocks. There's buildings later on, schools and parks and all that sort of stuff, But for now, There we go. So we have 100 people living here. Now, I believe nothing else happens there until we have 1,000 people living here. Demand and stuff actually sort of stays pretty placid. So we're going to do a little bit of retail. There we go, just to kind of box that off there. So let's build some more residential on the back there where it needs it. Like I say, I think if we get to it's either 500 or 1,000, I forget, but one of them is going to let us do the next thing. So let's put some more residential in there. Here, there we go. And at the back there as well, we can back onto the little bit of commercial we've got. So I think really it's probably just a case of speeding the game up, because there's plenty of space for this residential. It is turning up now. Look, there we go. As we go through, we're getting there towards that 1,000, which should unlock us the next thing. Let's have a look. What's the 1,000 going to do for us? I think it's 981. With every house filled, I think that is as well. Look at that. Oh, no, there's definitely spaces for more. Look, there we go, 996. I was going to say, there's loads of space development there. I think density is an issue as well. I know Beyond Drew, whether or not his videos come out at the time of this one coming out, I know Beyond Drew's been playing this as well, and he said there's some cool stuff about density, which I'm not sure I've figured out yet. So, there we go, 1,000 people who live here. So now we can do the query tool, the weather station started, unemployment census started, and economic charts available. Next achievements of 5,000, we can build a school. So we can now do this. Here we go, this query. So demo is just a way of seeing the screen, I think. Issues, we can see here if there's any issues. They sort of hover up over people's heads. Help wanted is a big one. That's just, I'm guessing there's just not enough people. Needs workers, which suggests we need people. So let's have a look. You can see here, this is the demand here. Very similar to City Skylines, a lot of this. I'm sure players of City Skylines will recognise a lot of the things we're looking at. So here we go. Let's speed time up a little so that we can get out of this darkness, hopefully, because it's pretty dark, and I know for a fact that darkness does not work great on YouTube. Let's start to change up our roads then. Let's come for something like this. There we go. What we're doing there is that's no great, is it? Let's try that one again, and that one again. There we go. There we go. I'll find those junctions. Looks like you can do a few different options. Oh, that's okay. And then we'll bring this one back down here. Oh, it'd be nice if we could just get that spot on, but no, we can't quite. Okay, so let's make a thing out of it then. And do them all at a bit of an angle. There we go. Maybe you across there, maybe you across there. And then obviously we need some roads coming this way to deal with those. There we go. It's not quite as neat as I think I would like, but look at that. They're desperate for it, so they're going to move in. So I'll paint all of this out. There we go. Loads of people in. 1,700. I think there's a little bit of retail needed, so I reckon we could probably make that retail. There we go. They'll turn those in, and maybe that as well. And this could start to become a bit of a high street. Eventually, there are different quality of roads as well that we can use to sort of busier roads where there's traffic. But at the moment, I'm not really seeing much traffic. I suppose the problem is that we're at a much higher speed. If we slow the game down, yeah, I mean, you can see the cars. They're almost like stop motion. I don't know whether that's a design feature or if they're just still working on flow through of cars. But at the moment, yeah, I can't see many of them doing anything. But some of the houses are upgrading. I think we can take a look at them. That looks like a bit of an upgraded one. There we go. Taxes. No people live there. That's good. Churchill, the Sanders household, the Ward household has got one person living in it. I mean, I'm assuming they're just in work. It's 11. So yeah, look, there we go. They're all at work. Good. Okay. We haven't got loads of empty houses. So request, demand, a little bit of everything. So we can throw some more farms in. It's a pretty easy one, I think. We just need to kind of drag these roads out, right? But again, let's start doing some more interesting shapes here. Oh, that's no good. There we go. Try that way. Coming down. Bring this one across to here. Why not? There we go. You have a little loop. From there right across to there. There's that. Yeah, alright. And then we'll fill that in with farm. There we go. And all of this, all of this, all of this, all of this can be farming. And the other side, of course, can spread itself right out. All of that. Plenty of farming space for when we need it. Okay, let's speed up time a little bit. Now, no demand for farming anymore. Look at that. But now we do have a little demand for residential, but nothing crazy. So maybe... I mean, that's going to be a big old junction if stuff does take into account. Sorry about the rain. I'm worried that this rain is a little bit intense for YouTube. YouTube does not like this kind of thing. It compresses it to hell. So I do apologise if it's a bit difficult to see. Too sure why it's done that there, but okay. There we go. There we go. It's kind of amazing how quick it sort of all gets thrown up. There's some more farms going in. Still, increase of residential is what's required. So again, I think we aim on the fact that this is going to be our sort of main strip. And we build off here. So let's build another couple of blocks. Move that way. And down to there. Okay. Right, here I'm going to leave a bit of a green belt there. Or an expansion belt, I guess you might call it. And then we'll do something like this, just to keep it a bit interesting. There we go. So here we'll say they come down this way. There we go. You can come this way. There we go. And then you can come and fill in here. Yeah. And then same there. And then same. There we go. Okay. And then hopefully we'll start down here. Like I say, we're going to keep that as a green belt. These are all flying up. That's good. Obviously needed. All of this can be as well. Desperate for housing they are. Oh, it's snowy. There we go. Lots of housing going in. 2,500 now. 2,800 even. We're almost time for building a school. They want some retail. No, they don't want any retail anymore. Help wanted still. We're still desperate for staff. So I suppose we fill all this in. Let's take you down there. You can go that way. And you can go that way. There we go, that'll do. I don't know why that I'd prefer to keep some as grid and some as not. I know here in North America, pretty much grid is pretty standard, although it's not quite as popular here as it is in the US. But yeah, gridded structures, buildings, you know, sort of blocks, city blocks are very popular, whereas they're a little bit more sort of free-form back in the UK. 2,100 people now. So I think density. If we can figure out this density. Left click to place next to roads, your city will then grow, but our chart shows demand. Okay, well maybe density just isn't something we've done yet. Okay, traffic we can say. So far very little of it, so that's fine. I don't know what this demo does. But it's enjoying itself, whatever it is. Okay, still massive demand for residential. We're going to have some huge residential blocks here, aren't we? Let's fill all these in. I feel like this is all getting really far away from the farms now, but people are still moving in. I guess another block here could work. So let's put some roads in here. There we go. Let's just go pretty traditional here. We're out of cash. Oh, okay. Didn't even realise cash was a thing. Okay. So we're going to get into debt here now, unless I'm assuming there's going to be a loan system. Oh, there we go. We literally can't pay any more now. So here we go. Line of credit, 1.5 years. There we go. We have a 5 million loan now. A small loan of $5 million. That'll do nicely. I'm going to remove that one. Leave that block open for service buildings later on. But for the rest of you... you can go there. Retail is a little requested. Let's put a little bit in there. And that's about it, really. We're starting to stagnate a bit, which kind of just means we have to give them the space to grow, and they all sort of feed into each other, right? Usually how it happens, if you've just got no growth at all, just one of them will slowly sort of spark up, and that's what you work from. So we'll just give them the room to move on if you want to. We've obviously got sort of obvious sort of city blocks here as well, which I quite like. See, now all the demand is going way up, look, so this will all start to fill in. In fact, let's take a road. Let's take that road there, because that's going to help people get to all of these farms. Might even make people move, I don't know. Maybe if that's a thing, maybe people who are currently here and working up here might move up to here and come across. Let's have a look at demand. All pretty level. Let's do some more retail then. That side of the road. So there's also help wanted. Oops. Village, there we go, out of cash. Yeah, we've done that. We're dealing on a big old loan now. There we go, houses are going up. We're getting there with stuff. And we're nearly at 5,000, so we can get that sweet, sweet school. I'm assuming that's going to make us really... I mean, look at this, all what we've built already, 5,000 people, and look at the space we've got to work with. And like I say, I assume they're not all going to stay as sort of little country houses, you know, that we'll end up getting skyscrapers and stuff later on, I'm sure. Let's have a look. I don't want to look at Elizabeth Street, I want to look at a specific house. So I want to look at you, there we go, people are asleep. Oh, that's good, yeah, it does actually sort of render them in game. What are you? People have just started work, have they? So some are at the store, some are at work. Oh, it's a Chinese restaurant. It opens at 6 in the morning. Wow, wait, go and get Chinese breakfast. That sounds good. 4,600. Most of these spaces filled up now, but there's room. I guess here we're not using the space as efficiently as we could. So I'm going to do this, and it'll destroy some houses, but overall, I think it kind of needs to happen. Anywhere else? Oh yeah, here. We can definitely get some more in, and here as well. Let's take that up to there. Okay. And then we can fill these gaps in. Where's the rest? Here we go. There's little spaces like this. Definitely use more of the room to tip that number up. So I want to keep these green belts. I like those. But there's nothing stopping us. I mean, here we've got a big area. There's nothing stopping us putting some more housing in there, is there? So let's bring that down. Oh, we haven't quite gone to the end there. There we go. Oh, okay, that's fine. It's not quite done what I thought it would, but that's alright. All of these. There we go. We now have the 5,000 people. That's good. Yeah, okay. Right, so we can now... residents after a school. A school is expensive but will attract factories. Factories employ more people than farms do. Oh, okay. So school amenity tool available. That's the amenity tool, I'm assuming. 2.5 million. 2.75 million even a school costs. New roads gives us avenues. Nice. Factory zones available. Next achievement is 20,000. We can build city hall. Factories will not develop in the middle of nowhere. Place industry near retail, busy roads, or apartment buildings. That's interesting because normally you would keep them. You'd keep them out of the place, wouldn't you? You know. So let's see. Can we get a school in that covers all of what we built? Pretty much, yeah. There covers everything we've got. All right. So you can go there. Let's have a look. I assume it just knocks a few of the houses away. There we go. There's our little school. Look at that. Cute. So, school also requires factories, but like I say, you don't want to do factories. Well, you wouldn't think you'd want to do factories so close to busy areas. I suppose the idea is to replace some of the farm in here as factory. We can do avenue. Look, let's turn this into an avenue. Yeah. Let's turn this. This is definitely the sort of main road, right? Where have we done and where haven't we done? Yeah, excuse me, that's my dog chewing on a bone. Okay, so all that's avenue now. Yeah, there we go. Avenue, 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 avenue. Yeah, go on. Double click, double click, double click. There we go. There's the main road out of town. Comes all the way down to here. So we'll make this area factory then. Let's, I mean... And this side. There we go. Oh, there's very little request for it now. It doesn't need much at all. That is fair enough. A bit more retail, that's fine. Do a bit of retail on the old front here. There we go. So those two little blocks can become retail. And mostly then it's residential. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. Let's do a grid, but let's try and do it off the regular grid and on this new grid we've created. Whether that's even a possibility, I don't know. But if we take that up to there, how does that look? I mean, it's not quite a grid, is it? It needs to be there, really. Oh, and then that's off, I see. Right, so hold on. Then that comes to there. That comes to there. So you go, you and you. Is that right now, or are you still a little off? Let's do it that way then. Boom. I mean that might be a grid now, but I'm just going to go with it. All right. So we will also need another school really over here somewhere, because I don't think we're at school level yet. Over here, I don't think we've got school coverage. Yeah, the grid system doesn't seem to like me doing this very much. So it's an interesting. Oh man, interesting to try and see what's going on. No, oh, we're back in debt again. I mean, I'm just knocking the years up on that. God forbid I ever have to repay anything. Quite like this sort of higgledy-piggledy approach. That's fun. Yeah, look at that. Okay, and then we'll make all of this down here residential. Stuff will fly out right here. This is going to be really popular. There we go. 6,500. Nice. I honestly don't think we're going to get to 20,000 here today. But I think this is interesting. Like I say, it's a very early start, but I do think there's some interesting ideas here. I don't know. Maybe we'll look at this one again. Let me know if you'd like to see more of this, or if you feel like it needs to cook a little. I'm not sure. I think sometimes it's quite obvious. I think that a game is early. You know, like, you know, this is early, it's in alpha at the moment. So, sometimes it's really quite obvious. With this one, I'm not sure. I think there's a game here, I think. I didn't mean to do that. I think the one thing I will really say is that I think the weather and the day-night cycle is a little intense. And it's making it a little tricky to see what's going on, to be honest. So I think that is definitely something they could tone down, especially from a YouTuber's point of view, because, like I say, anything like heavy rain or really dark gameplay is quite difficult for YouTube. There's a heinous murder. Shocks town. Residents are shocked to read articles about a robbery gone wrong. Where are the police? Oh, well, we can now do police, can we? Here we go. Police station. Reduces crimes in the area. Oh, well, luckily we've got more than enough space here to cover. So if we put something like that down... we don't have the money for it. Oh, well, let's just knock the line of credit up. I don't think anyone seems to care that much. There we go. 17 million loan now, but look at that, we have a police station in. Yeah, maybe these buildings could be a little bit more individual, perhaps, because that looks pretty much just like the school. So, you know, maybe a blue light on the top of it, you know, something that makes it obviously a police station, I think would be quite cool. Otherwise, yeah, like I said, I think there's a fun little game here. I might play it again. I don't know. The plan was to do a first look at this one because I wasn't too sure there was much going. But maybe just like a little 2 or 3 episode first look could work. Yeah, let me know in the comments what you think. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Until the next one, be good.